Hey everybody, I'm Chef Tom with allthingsbbq.com, and this is St. Paddy's Pastrami Pizza. Well, pizza may not be Irish, but it does know how to party, so that's why this year for St. Patrick's Day, we're cooking up this potato and pastrami pizza. It's gonna have that beef short rib pastrami that we made and another episode of the sauce. You guys can go check that out. We're gonna crisp up some potatoes in the Ooni Koda 16. We've got a creamy and festive green bechamel sauce. There's work to do, so let's jump in. So I've got a batch of pizza dough here that I've mixed up. It's already risen and doubled in size. We're gonna turn this out and portion it out into 2 dough balls. Now, if you wanna see a more in-depth process on this, you can go check out our video on how to make pizza dough. But essentially what we're gonna do here is we're just gonna kind of tighten this up, sort of tucking stuff underneath, forming it into that ball shape. I'm gonna roll it until it's tight across the surface. And I'm just gonna set this on an oiled pan here in a second. And once again, we'll let those start to rise and also let that gluten kind of relax here for the next 20 to 30 minutes so that this can stretch nice and thin for our pizzas. Throw a little olive oil down. We'll cover these up with plastic. And then we'll just set those aside while we work on the rest of the ingredients for our pizza. All right, so we're going to make some little potato crisps to put onto our pizza. Not like fully fried crisps. We're gonna roast them off in sort of thin chips inside the uni. So we'll get this russet peeled, and then we're just gonna slice these pretty thin. All right, so we're gonna get these potatoes oiled up, woo, slippery, seasoned up. A little bit of olive oil. And then we're just gonna season these with our Cattleman's Trail Dust all-purpose seasoning. Now I've got a 12-inch skillet preheating here in the Koda 16. You can see it's pretty hot. We're gonna go ahead and throw our potatoes in there. We might add just a little bit more fat to the bottom of that. It's a good idea to get that skillet hot first because, as you'll see here, most of the browning is going to come from above in this hot pizza oven. So we'll slide that right back in. Right now we've got the heat on low. Just set a little timer and see how long it takes to get these cooked. All right, it's been just over 3 minutes. You can see especially the ones in the back getting pretty browned. Let's just move things around a little bit. All right, it's about 5.5 minutes. Nice browning on there. They're tender. That's what we're going for. So in addition to the potatoes and the pastrami, we're gonna do a bell pepper on this pizza as well because it's green. And it's St. Patrick's Day, and if you cut them just right, they kind of look like a shamrock. And your lucky 4-leaf clover there. So we're doing everything pretty thin because this is going to be a quick pizza. I'm talking about like 2 minutes or less. And take the pith out of there. All right, those are good. Let's move on to the pastrami. So there we have our beef short rib pastrami. It's a thing of beauty. This one was cured extra long. It was a good 12 days. And smoked on the Yoder. We're gonna cut, again, fairly thin slices. Not like deli thin, but thin for doing it by hand. And then we'll take these and just kind of cut them down into smaller pieces. Look, it's pizza-shaped pastrami. How about that? So now we're gonna put together this herbed bechamel, and for St. Patrick's Day, we're turning it bright green with some fresh herbs. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our milk for our bechamel into the blender with some of these herbs, and we're just gonna blitz them. So we're gonna start with 2 cups of whole milk. We're gonna add to that a handful of baby spinach, a handful of Italian parsley, and then we've got some green onion, just gonna use the green parts, and a couple cloves of garlic as well. We're just gonna smash and peel those. So all of this onto the Vitamix. We're just gonna completely blitz it down. Okay, so we're gonna get this bechamel started by making our roux. Get 3 tablespoons of unsalted butter. We'll get that melted down, and then we'll get our flour in there. All right, so I was wrong. That was 2 tablespoons of butter, not 3, but we are adding 3 tablespoons of flour to create our roux. We're just gonna keep this moving. And it only takes probably about 30 seconds. This starts to become really fragrant. It's kind of nutty, and that's typically when I know that we're good to go ahead and add our liquid. So coming in with the milk and the herbs, and the spinach, and the green onion, and we'll just let this cook until it's thickened. All right, we're getting the bigger bubbles, getting thicker in consistency. How about that green color? I feel like I'm making slime. It may look strange, but it actually smells great. All right, we're ready to turn this off. All right, we've got all the components for our pastrami pizza. Let's bring it all together. Dough's looking good. We're gonna press this out and stretch it into a fairly large pizza. One of the great things about the Ooni Koda is it allows you that extra space. Stretch this nice and thin. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get some semolina down on our peel just to help it come off of there easier. We'll laying that right on top, and then we'll start to build our layers here. So we've got our bechamel. Come in here with some potatoes. And we've got our pastrami. I know corned beef's a little more traditional for the holiday, but this is exactly the same thing, just with smoke, and how could that be a bad thing? Now I've got some provolone that's gonna go over the top here. Love the bite of the provolone. You could use mozzarella, you could use white cheddar. Irish white cheddar would be nice too. I just love this provolone flavor. And we'll top it off with our shamrocks. Do a little shake of that trail dust on top, and this is ready to go in the oven. So with the Koda 16, the gas burner's running an L along the left and back, which means we're just gonna be spinning this to brown it evenly. Now I've got the flame on low right now. We can always crank that up to finish, but it'll go pretty quick the way it is. So starting to get some browning on that first side. We'll just give it a little quarter turn. Slide that back in. Going quick, you can't run away for too long. All right, one last turn here. I'm gonna go ahead and crank it up to high just to finish off the top. We're right at the 2-minute mark right now. Check out the bottom. Look at that. You can about stand that thing up. Beautiful. All right, let's cut into this thing. Let it cool down so I don't burn the roof of my mouth off. This is our second pie. Just come out a minute ago. Stretch that one even a little bit bigger. Holding up nicely. That dough is so tender. Pastrami. Man, I love it. That salty pastrami in there, creamy cheese and bechamel. You're getting the green onion, the herb, the parsley in there, and then those little bits of potato, because pizza doesn't have enough carbs, right? That's a tasty little pizza. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out allthingsbbq.com for all the products featured in today's video. If you enjoyed the recipe, hit that subscribe button. And if you have any questions or comments, or there's anything you'd like to see me cook, let me know in the comment section down below, and let's be good to one another. For more recipes, tips, and techniques, head over to allthingsbbq.com/thesauce. All Things Barbecue, where barbecue legends are made.